you've got yourself blocked off from who you are. And that's why you feel insecure or unsteady. That's why your heart hurts sometimes. That's why you get your feelings hurt. That's why someone, maybe not even deliberately wanting to hurt your feelings, can deliver a piece of information to you that hurts your feelings. They mean well when they tell you you've got spinach between your teeth, but it never feels good. It never feels good for someone to find some flaw in you and point it out to you for your own good. If you are doing something for someone's own good, you have trained yourself into love so that it's easy for you to love, and you love mostly, and when you see them, you love. You don't look for reasons not to. You don't try to justify your insecurity by trying to tear someone else down. You look for reasons to uplift. That's who you naturally are. That's who you are. So you have guidance within you that lets you know how vibrationally in sync you are with the whole of who you are. And the reason that we talk about that topic mostly, in fact sort of kind of only, is because who you are in any moment in time is the reason that you feel the way you feel. And by who you are, what we mean, how much of you focused in your human perspective, with your human personality and your human attention. And by human we mean lovely. We're not saying human. We're saying this fantastic part of you that has come forth to focus into this time and place in order to create that human you. As you look around, you're not the only part of you who's looking around, and you're not the only part of you who is noticing things. But the thing that we so want you to know is that the non-physical you, your inner being, who is right there with you in every waking moment, noticing things, is noticing things from the love that is you. And when you do less than that, then you feel slightly to greatly diminished, because you're not presenting yourself in your wholeness. You're presenting yourself in your pinched off version. When you feel insecure, that's the pinched off you. When you feel angry, that's the pinched off you, even though the pinched off you has great justification for being the pinched off you. If you gathered other pinched off yous, if you gathered the pinched off of the world, and most are to some degree, most would agree with you sometimes that you have every justification for the negative emotion that you're feeling, because you did witness something that you didn't like. You did witness some injustice, but still, witnessing an injustice still pinches you off from who you are. So how do you work this out, Abraham? Because there's so much that I look around and see that doesn't feel good to me when I see it. And we say, that's all right. You're having a step one moment where you know what you don't want, which causes an equal knowing what you do want. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, even if you are not consciously ready to acknowledge what you do want. When you witness something that is an injustice as far as you're concerned, or really something that doesn't match with the patterning that you've been programmed with by those who you've met up as you've been moving along your physical trail, you try to teach each other all of these rights and wrongs. As you find something that you've concluded is one of those wrongs, and how you ever sort that out is an impossible task. And we give you a whole lot of credit for constantly trying to segregate this world into rights and wrongs and goods and bads, because you came as a body of consciousness knowing that you would experience so much diversity and so much contrast and so much variety, that only with all of that variety and contrast could you, as a very powerful and deliberate creator, could you ever come to any conclusions about what you prefer. And further, you knew that when you found those preferences, that others would be finding their preferences too. And you knew when you decided to come into this body that the preferences that you came to the conclusions of would not all be the same preference. You knew that. You knew that you would want from your unique perspective, and you knew that others would too. And you never intended for a moment to try to corral them into some way of thinking. You never expected to be someone who would move beliefs among the population. Instead, you knew that you would honor the beliefs of the variety of the masses, and that from that collective experience that you would come to your personal conclusions, just in the same way that the artist stands before his canvas with his palette of colors and textures and makes his individual choices about what colors he chooses and when he chooses them and where he places them in his picture. That's exactly what you intended to do. And not one of you said, I'll go forth and wait for them all to get a clear view, and then I will come forth and I will do exactly as, let's see, which group of them should I follow? Ooh, there seems to be rivers and currents of decisions, most of them hateful, most of them pushing against each other. You did not say, I will come and I will join the loudest group. I will join the group that pushes against in the strongest, most effective way. You said, I'll come, I'll live, I'll feel, I'll decide. And most of all, you said, I will feel the perspective of my inner being, who has lived so long with me and who has come to know and be so much with me. And I will choose that which resonates most deeply with who I am, which means you intended to choose upliftment and love for others and for yourself. And that's the piece that we most want to emphasize with you as we're playing together with you today, because you just can't be mad at somebody else without shooting yourself in the foot. And you intended to feel good about you. You intended to let the whole of who you are flow into your experience. And so that's what we are after as we are playing here together today. We want you to realize who you are. We want you to find clarity about who you are. We want you to remember who you are. And most of all, we want you to practice being who you are. Have you been listening to us for a while? You said you're new, but you're new here, but you're not new to all of this, are you? You've been reading and listening and knowing and measuring your newfound understanding against your own magnificent life experience. And so we know that you have a strong basis of understanding. And even if you are relatively new here, you'll catch on fast, because this is not a difficult thing to know. And because your inner being already knows it and has been guiding you toward knowing it. And so much of what you hear here today, you will feel resonance with. You will feel a familiarity about it, because it's truly what you know to be. So as we're chewing together here today, it's our desire that you come to that personal recollection of the powerful being that you are, of the loving being that you are, and that when you leave this gathering, that you recognize, because it's going to be true whether you recognize it or not, you recognize that you have changed, that your vibration has found a new set point, and therefore your point of attraction has shifted, and therefore the entire world will be different to you, both in the way you treat the world and in the way the world treats you. Because when you come into the resonance of the power of who you are, there's a leverage of alignment, there's a leverage of well-being, there's a leverage of clarity and stamina and flexibility and knowledge that you just can't find without aligning with the whole of who you are. We're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. Do not worry about us. We will get our message across to you, and you will make it easy for us to do that, because you're reaching for the simple laws and principles of the universe that we know so well, and that you know too at various levels of your being. And they're going to come to the forefront today in a way that makes you understand how you fit into all of this. The most important thing that we desire as a result of our co-creating in this way is your discovering of a steady resonance with who you are. And the way that that will demonstrate itself to you right away is in what we want to call your satisfaction in life factor, your satisfaction factor. Because when you find a moment in time in which you are experiencing and knowing that you're experiencing utter satisfaction, then you are in complete alignment with who you are. And even more important than understanding that, you are in a place where you're in control of which way you lean in terms of your alignment with your broader self or your resistance to your alignment with your broader self. That's the only thing that we really care that you understand as a result of our playing with you, because everything else is working out for you. You came here just like you meant to, and you are an extension of source energy just like you meant to, and your inner being is all over you, knowing you, loving you, helping you, supporting you, guiding you, knowing you, loving you, helping you, guiding you, and supporting you. But only when you feel utterly satisfied, or some degree of it, all the way up to that ecstasy and love and appreciation that you feel sometimes, only when you are in that vibration of satisfaction, which means the vibration of utterly no resistance, only then do you really allow yourself to be who you really are and who you intend to be all day, every day. We want you to know that you can indeed live happily ever after. And by that, we don't just mean have a goal and then attain it and be happy for the afternoon. We mean happily ever after. We mean happily always after. We mean happily now, happy now, happy now, happy now, happy now, happy now, happy now. But what about that stuff that's going on, Abraham? That doesn't make me happy. Why are you looking at it? Well, because you said step one matters. We did. Step one does matter. Just don't make a lifetime career of it. Let what you don't want help you launch your clarity of rockets about what you do want, and let your rest of the time be spent reaching for the satisfaction factor. And you'll hear some of that from us here today. Meanwhile, we're here for you. We want to talk about what you want to talk about. We'll meet you where you are. We love where you are. We'll help you get closer to where you want to be. We're not trying to get you away from anything or toward anything other than the wholeness of who you know at some level of your being you are. We want to help you be you. So, what do you want? We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. We've set out an individual beam and broadcast to each and every one of you. Did you get it? Of course, that's happening all day, every day, isn't it? That beam is being sent out. It's being revealed to you. The question is, are you receiving it? Are you receiving it? Let's begin right here. Stand if you think it's you. It's you.
Don't forget to leave a positive message and subscribe.